Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode of the Ultra Street NB build, we're going to be doing stuff with differentials. Basically what I'm going to be doing is removing the 4.3 open NB diff from the NB, the factory diff, and installing a 3.9 torsen diff that I got off eBay for, I would say, a pretty good deal, kind of going price-ish. The 3.9 torsen diff is better in a lot of ways than the 4.3. The first way is it's a torsen and it's an LSD, so it can actually grip up both wheels at the same time. The open is one-wheel drive and definitely not as good. The second way is that it's a 3.9 ratio, and that's going to let me have taller gears, which is amazing for more power because then you have to shift less and you can cruise at a lower RPM, which is just good for gas mileage and good for peace of mind, and you don't have a buzzing engine all the time. Now the new diff is going to mate up perfectly with my new transmission, which is right over here. This is the 6-speed that I got from Boston yesterday. I drove about 5 hours to Boston, went and picked this thing up for a actual killer deal. The guy that I bought it from, his dad had a Ferrari in the garage, and he basically bought like an engine, he bought an NB that had no engine in it, and he wanted to get an engine for it. So they picked up this super low mileage combo engine and transmission from Japan, 30,000 miles. He didn't need the transmission, so I bought it and I got a killer deal on it. Apparently it also has a shifter rebuild kit. It sounds like it too. It's the bronze kit from 5X Racing, that's what he told me. I'd have to look into it, but it sounds really crispy and nice, and I'm super happy with the deal I got on this thing, and it's gonna hold about 50 more wheel torque for my turbo build than the 5-speed. This is as much of a transmission build as I'm going to be doing in the foreseeable future. So my car is going to make 300 wheel torque on the dot. That's what I'm going to tell the dyno. And we'll see if that breaks it. Hopefully not. Now the first thing I'm going to do is take this diff out of the car. And to do that, I'm going to need to get under the car and remove the PPF, or the power plant frame. Now it's going to be a little bit different in my case because I also have the transmission removed. So I have to actually take out the power plant frame as well. And I'll get to working on that right now. Diff. Basically, what you want to do under here to remove the diff is a couple things. Firstly, you want to remove the PPF, which connects the diff to the transmission. It's held in by some bolts. There's this one, and this one. So, basically, these hold it in, but this one is extra special because this one is like a sleeved bolt, and it has like a spot for where there's a sleeve in the bolt, and this holds it this thing in for moving laterally, and there's one on the top that goes into a sleeve in here that also holds it in. What you're gonna have to do is take this bolt and whack it with a hammer, and that'll push the top insert out. Now there's a proper way to do this where you thread something into the sleeve and pull the sleeve out individually, but most of the tutorials that I've seen just hit it out, and I haven't actually seen one where they pull it out, but that's like the proper way you're supposed to do it. And for me, these are pretty hard to get out, so I'm going to get this collar out and get the top thing out, and I'll get back to you when I have the PPF freed and ready to move on to the next step. Hey guys, I just had the time of my life trying to get these things out of the PPF. It was 5:30 when I started, now it's about 9 o'clock. And I wish I would have gotten done more today, but they're out now. Those things were stuck. I had to break apart this baseball bat, and I wailed on these things for actual hours. And now, the moment of truth, the PPF will come off. Just come off. Oh, there it is. Ow, I just smashed my fingers too. Oh. Yep, there it is. Oh, it's gonna fall on the ground. Well, anyway, the PPF is off. Now on to the next step, if I want to do it today, maybe tomorrow. Hey guys, just wanted to mention one thing before we continue. You're gonna want to drain the diff. So draining the diff is pretty easy. You just take a 24mm socket or 23. That's kind of a loose 24, and a just a little bit too big for a 23. But you want to loosen this, drain your diff out, and fill plug. If you want to fill your diff, you just fill it up to this level and you're good. Just make sure your car is level. And experts say take this out before you drain it out, because if you take this out and you can't get this out, then you're stuck because you can't fill your diff. But in my case, I'm just gonna take this out because I don't have any reason to take the fill plug out, because I'm actually not really gonna fill this up for a long time, maybe ever, unless I want to weld it to go drifting or something, which I may do. But yeah, let's get this thing drained out. 24 with an extension right here. I only put this in a little bit ago, so we'll see how it looks. I expect it to be very... Oh yeah, it literally doesn't have any color to it at all. It still looks brand new. Blub, blub, blub. Blub, 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 blub. Now guys, I will reveal the reason why you need to get polyurethane differential bushings. So these are the stock bushings up here. Watch this. Whoa! Yo, 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 yo. Get a little bit more fluid out, you know. They're just super boost. For the next step, guys, sorry the light's in your eyes, you just got to take these top things off. I don't really know what to call them. They're called, I don't know, but the top ball, I'm not sure. But you take this thing off, this top mount for the wheel hub. You got to take that off, and then it'll let this thing pivot forward, and then the axle should pop out of the thing, and just with a couple screwdrivers, you just put it behind the axle and just go, and it should just pop out, and then you don't actually have to take these off. Unless you're replacing your axles, like doing an NA to NB swap, then you do. But if you don't, you don't. Alright, so one more thing down. I got these bolts out. It's pretty easy. They're just 2 14s. Get it out. Pull that down. And you get 2 flatheads under there. Now, it's going to be hard to get out. I had to get out the big boy flatheads. I actually broke one of my screwdrivers doing this. Like, stuff like this is what you need. Not like this. Don't do that. Don't break your screwdriver. I might file this down and make something else out of it. I don't know, but it's broken now. Gold Old Reliable, the big boys will get you on that. But I smashed my pinky too. Ow. And they're out. So now all I need to do is unbolt the diff and drop it down. I got the jack under where the diff is going to be going. And let's take this thing out. I don't know if I can get it past my NB cool chassis reinforcements that I have there, but we'll find out. So I got kind of focused and I forgot to film some of it, but I got the bolts out of the diff, and when you take those out, what falls out are these plates that you can pull out, and then once these are out, your diff is out. So I'm lowering it down on this jack right here, and the axles are popped out, and as it comes down, I just gotta finagle it out. So this will vary depending on your situation and how many people you have and stuff, but I'm gonna try to get this thing out. I'll be back. So guys, welcome back. I've made a lot of not progress, and long story short, the NBs are kind of hard to get the diff out with all the chassis support bracing. So I've been trying to get this thing out with the support bracing down here, and these bars are just in the way, and when I lower it down, the axle sits on the bar, and I just don't have the willpower to try to maneuver it around the axle. So this axle boot was leaking anyway, and I already messed it up a little bit, sorta. So I got this puller. Well, this is step 2, so I'm whacking this thing, just chunking up this hammer, and then I got this self-defense baseball bat, and I destroyed that too. And this thing is not moving. I got a propane torch and I was torching it. It still wasn't moving. So now I have this puller here, and you're gonna get a first-hand experience. I think this is a 19. So shout out Advance Auto, because they just had this thing on tap, and they're like, oh yeah, it's literally free to use if you return it. And I'm like, sick. So I just went over there, picked it up. You do have to like give them $100 though, but you get it back. Oh, sorry. You get back the $100. Let's see if this this thing works. So we're just gonna slap this thing on here. Should I heat it up? Should I heat it up? I think maybe. This propane tank is almost empty. Alright. We're gonna heat it up. Because that's what the professionals do, right? They heat it up. This is just sidetracked at this point, but this is just for the adventure. Also, what's glowing in there are the pieces of my dead blow hammer. I'm just gonna heat this thing up, just, you know, to see if I can like free it up at all or something. I want to damage the tool for advanced auto, but we're just gonna sit here and heat this thing up, and I'll come back to you if I have any progress on this. Guys, I'm doing it. I'm actually doing it. It's working. Oh my God, thank God. Thank the Lord. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Yes, it's coming out. Oh, it's only one. Oh my God. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh my Lord. Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know the struggle of this CV axle. I can't believe it's coming out. Oh. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, it's the best thing I've ever seen. I got it! Yes! I don't know if I'm dumb or I did it in the wrong order or something, but I got it. I did it, okay. Got it out. This is an axle. Now, do I want to reuse this axle? Kinda mangled it, but it doesn't seem like it's that bad, honestly. The only thing that I did that was weird is I punched a hole in the boot somewhere, like in the seal. Looks okay to me. I mean, tell me in the comments if you think I should replace it. It's a while until this thing drives again, but I think it's good. I think it looks good. I mean, man, let's go up there for now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Now we're talking. So, I do have a tip for you guys. So my pro tip is when you're working with a NB, so something that has these welded on reinforcements, you can either break the welds free and drop it down without removing the axles, or if you want to maintain the welds, I would say you kind of, hold on, I don't know if it's blurry or not. I would say you almost have to remove the axle, because if you don't, it's 99% impossible to get it to this point where it's dropped down. Once I remove this axle, you can scoot it to the side and pop the other axle out. So you may have to just, or I think it's the easiest way is to remove the axle, just take it out of there, remove this top piece, and then you could slide the other one out, and then you just have to shimmy it out from there. That's my pro NB tip. The NB is probably the hardest one because you have all this bracing here, which is good for, you know, good for stiffness, or good for chassis reinforcement, not good for diff removal. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. That's what's up, guys. Well, guys, I fought with this thing long and hard, and this is where it's at. It's out-ish. All it needs to do is drop down below these bars. And I could take these bars off, but that would have defeated the purpose of me even going through all the extra work of taking the axle out and stuff. So I will, out of spite, not do that. I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm only one person and no one wants to help me, I'm sad and lonely, I will take off this the diff out of the carrier, and then I will shove the carrier over there and then pull it out, because I've been fighting with this for like probably an hour now, and my arm is hurting. I think I threw out my rotator cuff, and I really don't want to be out down here in the dirt anymore trying to get this thing out. So as it sits right now, it's here. I'll come back tomorrow It's because it's like midnight, and I will take out this diff from the housing, set it over there, and then try to get the housing out. And then onto the fun part of putting the new bushings in, the 3.9 torsen diff, which is sitting over there, ready to be installed. So I'll be back in 1 millisecond for you. And just like that, my friends, I have separated the diff from the housing. So now I've officially taken apart everything. So my advice is, if you have an NB, do this and take the axle out, or just take these out, these support things. They're welded. See, there's a tack weld there. If you want to grind off the tack weld and remove the bracing, this will be a much easier job. Or you could do this. If I was to do it over again, maybe I would remove these, because now it seems the only way to get the diff back in is through the same sort of way. So put the housing in, put the diff in the housing, and put it in the car. But anyway, I'm gonna get this out of here and start working on the next step of the project, which is putting the new bushings and stuff in the other diff over there. Finally, after all this time, open up my tote of Miata parts and show you what's going on. This is the tote of Miata parts. I'm opening it up right here. Look at all that stuff. Flying Miata stuff, all sorts of cool stuff. But what I'm looking for is specifically not this, not this. I'm looking for this, I think. Yes, this is what I'm looking for right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. We got the Super Pro bushings. Australia designed and engineered. Oh yeah. And the best part, I got them from flyingmiata.com. They sent me a Flying Miata NB themed sticker. I love that. I love when people send me stickers, man. And then what else is in this package is some seals for the new diff, and seal for the transmission, and this boot that I ripped in the previous video. I got a new one. And so let's check these things out. I already opened it, but apparently lifetime warranty. Look at that. They're blue, or they're purpley blue. Oh, they feel so nice. Oh, they're just buttery. Oh man, they feel so good. So we have the uppers and the lowers like that, and they go in place of this one right there. So I forget what goes on top and what goes on the bottom. I think that I'll have to look it up, but I'll do it the right way when I put them in. But first we got to get these out. So the Car Passion channel has a method without burning them, where you just drill holes all throughout, pull this middle thing out, and then you just pry along the edges with a screwdriver. So I'm gonna try that and see how that works, and I'll get back to you when I've made some kind of progress on that. Alright guys, welcome back to the fun. So this took me about, what time is that? I mean, I don't even know when I started, but it probably took me about 2 hours to get this out. So tip that I have for you, use a ton of WD-40 and bend in the sides. If you're whacking it out, you have to bend in the sides and try to squeeze it, sort of. And I mean, just wail on it. I mean, I can't even believe that I have another one to do, but it's all about, hold on. It's all about that perseverance. You just gotta take that $2 Harbor Freight mallet and a big screwdriver and just bend it in and mangle it, and use a lot of WD-40. And I heated it up once as well. I don't know if that did anything, but you could try heating it up. And once it broke free, it just slid right out. So there you go. Hey guys, I've returned, and it's been about maybe 4 days or so. I just had to work and do some stuff, but now I'm back. So last time we were here, I just got out these bushings out of the diff, And there they are. These things stink, so I'm gonna go toss them in the trash. And now I actually have a cameraman. This is Phil. Yes,
they know who I am.
And we were both drinking a cold snap. Very delicious. Not as good as the Golden Goat, though. I recommend Golden Goat 100%. But anyway, now we have this diff here with no bushings in them. So what we have to do is sand down these edges that I've created by whacking this thing with a screwdriver 5 million times. And yeah, so let me just get to cleaning these things up, and I'll probably fast forward it or something. But look at it. Now I just start cleaning it up. Hey guys, what's up? So I got one done. Check it out. It's actually really easy to do. So this is actually the Super Pro suspension parts. So usually when I see people have these bushings, they're like one big one and then one small one, but these are like the same size and they meet in the middle. This is like what fine Miata sells. Like, I don't know if it's like extra good or whatever, but I paid like more money for it. But like, it does happen sometimes. But there you go. Anyway, I took about half the grease to do this one. It says not to get it on your skin, but I'm doing it anyway. So don't do what I'm doing. But yeah, so basically, also what I figured out is there's one that's flat and then one that's like divoted. And these things, the divoted part is supposed to go in like this divoted area here. And some people say to cut these dinguses off, but like I say they're fine. Maybe they're not. If they're not, I will cut them off later. But they should be okay. And then this just goes in like that. And then you just bolt it up to the car. So I'm gonna start by sandpapering this and getting all like the ridges off before I put the thing in. So you just take some sandpaper. This is 80 grit. I mean, you can do whatever. Because if you're doing my method where you take the screwdriver and try to like chunk it out, there's gonna be some rough edges. So like, you know, you just want to sand it down pretty well, like this. It doesn't need to be like perfect. It's not like a sealing surface or anything, but you know, it's fine. That's a little bit buried right there. I'll probably just cut this out. You scared the
Surprise visit.
How's it going? What are you guys doing here?
We are filming Liam putting in his diff bushing.
Let's see.
You're now a minor part of the video.
Whoa.
But he also might be cutting this part out. So.
Say hi to Joseph. How do you feel about diff bushings?
Yes.
Okay.
Understandable.
Alright, now that we're done sanding, you just gotta clean it up with like a shop rag or something. That's okay. Just, you know, aluminum flakes, no problem. It's pretty smooth. Yeah, it doesn't need to be perfect again, but it's fine. Then you're just gonna take your lube, put this at the bottom of the diff, because this is the thing that goes into this bottom mount piece. And you may have to cut these off again, but I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Just grease it up. Oh yeah. Then, I mean, some people like have to like pound these in and stuff. Like, these just pressed in, like when I did it. So like, I don't know if these are like too loose or something, but like, it's fine Miata's product. So if they're too loose, then it's fine Miata's problem, not mine.
It's definitely not gonna, you know, show on your Miata.
Oh. Low-key, I just got that on my cut. Ow, that hurts. So yeah, best practice not to actually get this in your cut.
Best practice is to not get it on your skin in general. It did specifically say to not get it on your skin.
That's okay. It's a bacteria fighting agent. So
That's,
I think.
not necessarily true. No. Oh, yes, that way.
Yes. You just look at that. So it just goes in. I mean, I don't know if these are like abnormally loose or something, but it does sometimes happen like that. So there you go. Now we just get the other bottom piece. Put some lube on it. They give you like just enough lube too. Like good on these people, the Aussies. You know. Shout out to Super Pro Suspension Parts. superpro.com.au for Australia. Very cool. Wow, that's like surprisingly easy. I don't know if I like screwed it up or something, but then you just take this then you take the metal dongus and you lube it up. I do have extra grease as well, which is good. They give you more than you need. You definitely want to get this thing greasy because it's going to stay in your car for a while. And if you don't get it greasy, it's going to squeak, so I'm going to grease it up. Then you just press it into this hole. Like this. Oh yeah.
Go.
Oh, okay. We're good. Whoa.
Like the fish. Like the fish.
And yeah, that's that part done. So now we're going to try to shove it back in the car.
You good there?
You can end the video. Hey guys, I'm back. The last thing you saw me do, I think, was put these in. These are the new bushings. These are polyurethane bushings from NB1 Miata. The Super Pro suspension, cool bushings. And there's a little bit of grease left, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, these are in there. And I have the diff pulled apart. And I verified that this is a 3.9 torsen. So, I got this for a really good deal. I'm not going to disclose the deal, but I got it for a really good deal. I'm replacing my crappy, you know, probably worth $300 open diff that's stinky and has a crappy ratio. This diff is awesome and has a good ratio. So what I want to do is refresh this diff by putting new axle seals in it. I have the seals here. These are OEM Mazda seals, very cool. And the pro method for getting these out is just to take a flathead, putting it up against the seal and the inside of the seal itself, like this, so that you can push it out and like pop it out like that. You don't want to scrape the housing like this. You want to make sure it's stuck up against the seal like that when you push it out. And then what you do is you just take your flathead, and these are a little bit hard to get out, so I might like fast forward this if it takes too long, but you just kind of take it and try to pop the seal out like this. There, they're in there. Okay. These seals are in there, but the theory is that you just take the screwdriver and you just... Okay, I'll come back when I get these seals out. Hey guys, so I'm back. I have both the seals popped out. I just did this seal freshly, and it's right in there perfectly. So you just get it flush up against the thing. And how I did it was I just took the seal, you just opened it up, new Mazda seal. Actually, is this Mazda? Okay, maybe it's not Mazda, but... Oh no, it says OEM reference. Okay, so these are not Mazda seals, but that's okay, because you know what? These are fine as well. So you just take the old seal. This is the easiest way that I found to do it. So you take the seal. You want to just stick it right in there. Some people use oil, but I don't like to because the point of it is to spin in the thing and not around it. So you don't want your seal to spin. So you get it pressed in just a little bit around like this. Just a little bit. Like that. Then you take your other seal, place it right on top of it, as not to damage the seal that you're doing. Then you just tap it in, and you may want to put your knee behind it or something so it doesn't move, and you just tap the seal in evenly. So that's what you don't want to do. There's an example of what not to do. So what you don't want to do is sink it too far in so that it's uneven. I'll just even it out and then leave it like that, I guess. So right now it's sunk in on this side. Alright, I sunk it in around the whole thing. I mean, this side I did a little bit better, where I got it right along. Although maybe you do want to sink it in, I'm not sure. Actually, let me reference my other diff and see. Okay, you don't want to sink it in. So, oh well, it's an axle seal. It's probably fine. And then this side is even as well. All right, so that's that. And next step is to try to put it in the car. All right, guys, I'm back. So I didn't record this because it was very strenuous, but basically I put the housing in first. I wiggled it in there, and then I just jacked this up and put it on the housing. I put a thin strip of RTV. This stuff right here, Permatex, the right stuff. I put a thin strip of that along the entire surface of it, squeezed it in. Now I'm gonna let it sit, and yeah, it's squeezing out, so that's good. And basically I'm just gonna wiggle it up in there now. And the axle is on this side, the axle that I left in. I'm gonna put this axle in once I get the diff in. Sounds like a plan. Hey guys, I'm back. So I got the diff in the car and I got everything reconnected for the diff. And yep, now the diff is in the Ultra Street NB. I just got the axles put back in, axle nut, all the suspension components back in, just meticulous stuff that, you know, just the process of taking it out except putting it back in pretty much. And it's all in there, and it doesn't move nearly as much as it did before. Now, always remember to fill your diff before driving. So when I get the car actually running, I wrote a note for myself. Fill diff and trans before driving. So that's a very good tip. And this is this episode complete of The Average Racer. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.